So the CEO approved the growth spend. The CIO delivered the project, and the board asked just one question. What did we get for the money? And suddenly the room went very, very quiet. That silence is not an ROI problem. It's a governance failure. Because here's what actually happens. The CEO funds a strategic initiative. The CIO executes it successfully. The CFO tracks the spend perfectly. But the board still does not believe in the return. Nobody is hiding anything. Everyone did their job. But they were operating on very different definitions of winning. Their definitions were growth, delivery, return. 3 very rational goals. 1 very broken capital story. And that break is not accidental. It's structural. Because when strategy, execution, and economics live in separate conversations, the CFO inherits a reconciliation problem that was never supposed to have existed in the first place. And when those stories collide, the CFO is expected to reconcile the math. And this is where IT ROI fails. Not in execution, in translation. Hi, I'm Jayson Hahn. I spent 18 years as a global CIO owning budgets north of $150 million across multiple industries. And I've sat in rooms where spend was approved on strategic clarity and defended on financial ambiguity. I've watched CIOs present green dashboards while CFOs explain budget overruns. Same project, same numbers, completely different stories. And now I work with CEOs and CFOs and operating partners who are tired of defending technology that technically succeeded, but financially failed to land. Because here's the truth. ROI doesn't fail because the numbers are missing. It fails because the economics were never agreed to. Now, watch this pattern. Week 1. The CEO approves $12 million to accelerate growth. Clear intent, no financial definition of success. Week 4. The CIO presents milestones. On time, on budget, green across the board, the project is tracking exactly as planned. Week 8. Finance tracks spend against plan, perfect variance reporting, every dollar accounted for, no surprises. Month 6. The board asks, how does this improve margin or growth? The CIO shows delivery metrics. The CFO shows every expense line. Neither answers the question. Because ROI was never defined as a business outcome. The room aligned on strategy. The room never aligned on the economics. And here is what misalignment costs. Not just the current project, but every future conversation about technology investment to the board. Because once the board loses confidence in one ROI story, they start questioning all of them. And here's the distinction that matters. ROI is not a calculation. It's an agreement. An agreement made before the capital even moves. If ROI is defined after delivery, it's already too late. Real ROI requires 3 things before approval. First, what business decision does this enable? Not what system is changing, what decisions are being changed because of this. Does this allow us to enter a new market? Does it reduce overall risk? Can we transfer risk off the balance sheet? Second, what financial outcome defines success? Is it revenue? Is it margin? Is it risk reduction? You pick one, and you attach a number, and you set a time frame to it. And if the answer changes based on who is asking, there's no agreement. Third, who owns that outcome? It's not IT. It's not finance. It's one accountable operator who will stand in front of the board and defend that result. When those three are set, ROI becomes defensible. And when they're not, ROI becomes a debate. And debates do not build confidence. In fact, they erode it. Let me give you an example. There was a $750 million services firm, $28 million IT budget. They had strong execution. They had zero board confidence. And every quarter was the same pattern. IT presented what was delivered. The board asked what was gained. The CFO translated the numbers in real time. But no one was satisfied. But when we forced ROI definitions before spend approval from the board, when every initiative was mapped to one decision, one metric, one owner, not every system, every material investment, anything above discretionary threshold had to answer 3 questions before funding moved. Board conversations stopped being hostile. Not because IT improved. IT was already strong. But because the economics were finally clear before the spend hit the books. The CFO stopped translating. The CIO stopped defending. And the board started asking different questions. Not, what did this cost? But, should we do more of this or less of this? That is what governance alignment produces. IT ROI fails when delivery replaces economics, when success is measured in activity instead of outcomes, when the CFO is asked to explain value that was never defined. Governance fixes this, because governance is capital discipline, not control, discipline. The discipline to define economics before approving spend. The discipline to hold one owner accountable for one outcome, and the decision to stop funding ambiguity. But here's the next problem. Even when ROI is defined, boards still do not trust the numbers many times. In the next briefing, I explain why. Please subscribe, and I will see you at the next briefing. Thank you.